Meghan Markle and Prince Harry dubbed Toxicity Parents and claimed will come to regret their poisonous choice of cutting people off as they now risk being isolated and will see their children grow up with little family around them, claims a royal author. Tom Bower, who is currently working on a biography of Meghan, told Closer magazine the former royal will regret moving her husband and 2 children away from the royal family for their new life in Montecito, California. He also claims that the stubborn mother of 2 will regret cutting ties with her father Thomas Markle. Mr. Bower claims that both of these factors see the couple being isolated and that they are alienating their children who risk growing up without other relatives around them. He said, "I believe Meghan is a very stubborn person, but I think eventually even she'll realize that this isolated world she and Harry built for themselves was a poisonous choice. They seem so desperate to control the narrative that they can't risk anyone else influencing it, but this will simply cause more damage to them in the future, when their children grow up with no family around them." The couple's youngest child Lilibet shares her moniker with Her Majesty the Queen, 95, but she has yet to meet her great-grandmother in person. While Lilibet's brother Archie, who was born in May 2019, has reportedly not seen members of the royal family in the flesh since his parents left the country and moved to Canada in late 2019, before relocating to the US in March 2020. It comes following Thomas Markle's appearance on ITV's Good Morning Britain, GMB, earlier this month, where he discussed the current state of his relationship with his daughter. He told GMB that he will not be pursuing legal action to gain visitation access to his 2 grandchildren, and instead was calling for the Sussexes to hold a family reunion. His parents Prince Harry and Meghan Markle may have the royal titles of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. But for their son Archie, he's plain Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, as he has no royal title. However, this could all change in the future and he could become a prince with a HRH style, and it's down to a rule set down more than 100 years ago. But will only happen when his grandfather Prince Charles becomes king. The tradition stems from Harry's great-great-grandfather, George V, when he issued a letters patent in 1917. A spokesperson for Debrett's previously told The Mirror, in 1917, King George V ordered that only the grandchildren of the monarch would be entitled to use the style of prince or princess and HRH. The only exception to this order was that the eldest son of the Prince of Wales would also be entitled to use the style HRH and prince. This means that only Prince George, as a great-grandson of the monarch down the direct line of succession to the throne, was originally entitled to be a prince. He is the eldest son of the Prince of Wales. The Queen stepped in ahead of George's birth to issue a letters patent to ensure all the Cambridge's children would have fitting titles. However, this does not extend to Archie and his younger sister Lilibet, although when Charles is king they will be the grandchildren of the monarch and can be styled HRH and prince or princess. It was originally believed that Harry and Meghan were involved in the discussions about how Archie's would be styled, with suggestions they didn't want him to have a title to allow him to have a more normal life. But in their bombshell interview with Oprah Winfrey, Meghan said this wasn't the case and said they wanted him to have a title for protection reasons. She suggested the decision may have been to do with race, saying there had been conversations about the color of his skin. However, Debrett's explained that Meghan and Harry did have the option to give their son a title if they wanted to. It said, in accordance with the 1917 order, Archie could now use his father's title of the Earl of Dumbarton and could be referred to as Lord Dumbarton. A Telegraph source said, they didn't like the idea of Archie being called the Earl of Dumbarton because it began with the word dumb. They were worried about how that might look. Another insider claimed, it wasn't just Meghan who pointed out the potential pitfalls, it also bothered Harry.